There is a podcast no one asked for. A podcast you never knew you didn't want. 3 beers in. This is the podcast.
I anticipate a deeply religious experience.
Hello, true believers. Welcome back to another frothy, tart, sparkling episode of 3 Beers In. This is Ross, and of course, with me tonight is Clint.
Hello.
Joel. He's there. And the man who proves that you can both boo and yawn at the same time, Cutter.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You son of a bitch!
Yeah, exactly.
So, tonight on the podcast, we are drinking Silly Gose.
Gose.
Silly
Gose.
Silly Gose by Community Beer Company.
Oh, yeah. I did so much research on Gose, I forgot to do any research on Community.
We talked about it briefly on the special episode.
We drank their funnel cake ale.
Yeah.
Solid. I believe Time Magazine, they did a beer issue, and they were number one in Texas.
This Time magazine you speak of,
Yeah.
they didn't consult us. Who
They
are
did
these?
not.
Who are
They
these
did
people?
not, yeah,
Who are
so-
these people?
They still have
that think they
magazines?
can come into our territory.
It was the special
Our region,
one.
and name our number one beer brewery.
Yeah. So you guys want to pop these?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
pop them.
Let's get
do it.
started here. Getting that apricot.
It's an apricot geuze, right?
Let's give me a take.
It is. All right. So this is a tangerine and apricot.
So, gozes are in the Berliner Weiss family, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Typically,
yeah,
gozes
they
have
are
salt,
wheat.
though.
Yes. Gozes do have, they are salted. We'll get into that. First impressions, everybody?
First impressions?
Different than a Berliner Weiss. I'd
Clearly.
say. Yeah. Which I probably shouldn't have had one right before we started, but
I was going to say, first impressions, it's a 0 for me.
Really?
And it's on the cusp, but it's got that saltiness that I just
Yeah, I agree.
it bugs me a little bit. But it's
Oh, Cutter, you must just not like fucking beer. You fucking fuck.
yeah.
So I've been,
it's subject to change. It's got potential, but it's like
Yeah.
my first
Yeah,
sip. I
think
had one sip.
I think it improves. I think it's because the first sip, I'd say, is really underwhelming. Myself, it's kind of like,
Not more fruit on the second sip. I'm with you.
yeah,
I did too.
yeah, and I get some of the wheat in there too. Really nice.
Yeah, I agree with
It's-
this salty.
I think one of the reasons for that is the lightness of it. It's very watery, if you will. Like
Yeah, exactly.
just
It's thin,
easy,
like you can
very
probably drink
easy
it
to
all day.
drink,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not
I
overwhelming,
don't-
but it
yeah.
makes you you want to drink more because you're now you get that salty palate.
Right, but all drinking more is just going to make you more dehydrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's overwhelmingly salty.
It's not over.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely not. But it's just got
No.
that salty.
It's
finish
got a
on
little
it.
bit, yeah,
Yeah.
on the finish. Yeah,
Yep.
like seawater, not that you drink seawater, but a day at the beach swimming.
You don't
and
know my
have-
life.
Yeah, I don't know everything that you do. I don't know what you do during the day.
So we've all kind of talked about it, but I'm the one who's rated it so far.
The initial taste is, I'd say 0, but
As I've gotten 2 or 3, 4 more sips into it,
Yeah.
it's
it's good. Yeah,
I'm gonna give it.
it's not my favorite, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'd drink it definitely.
I'm gonna give it a 0 too because of the saltiness, and I was expecting because of the description on the can to be a little bit stronger,
More fruitful,
like more fruitful. Yeah,
yeah.
I have
Yeah,
a
so
stronger
was
fruit
I.
taste.
I was like, you get it on the nose, but
Yeah,
yeah.
Once you pour it, you get it on the
Much of
nose,
the
but the
taste.
taste is not there.
It's a 1, solid 1.
let the record show that there's zeros all around, and Clint is the one who likes this beer.
I appreciate the saltiness and the slight tartness of it.
Yeah. The tartness is really slight.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, if they would have pumped that up post the saltiness, I think it would be awesome.
I expected more apricot, maybe more tartness from the tangerine,
Yep.
a little bit less wheat, but it's like mostly wheat with a little bit of apricot
Yeah.
and tangerine
Yeah.
just bitterness.
I think the tartness and the saltiness are kind of neutralizing each other so that neither one comes forward too powerful. So depending on what you're wanting from it, if you want it to be more sour, then that salt deters from you. If you wanted it to be more salty, that sourness is going to cut away from that. So, but since it's light and a little bit tart, and I don't mind the saltiness, I like this. I could drink this all day probably.
Yeah.
It seems a little complex to me because when you're talking about like the saltiness, the tart, then you throw the wheat in it. Like, I taste the salt, and then I tasted the tartness, and then the wheat I really had to search for. Like, it seems like Cutter, you got a lot of wheat from it.
I got a lot of wheat. It was right before the salt and right after the fruit. It's got kind of that almost Cheerio taste is what I kind of
You and cereal.
But the wheat is
stuff too.
The wheat is definitely there, but because it's like a lighter beer, I feel like the wheat doesn't
have any of the devil's fruit.
Right, it doesn't like impact you as much as like a true
you don't
wheat
get
beer
cloves or bananas or anything like that. Yeah, I get that.
I've had a geuze before. It was salty, but it wasn't tart. Are they supposed to be tart?
They are.
They usually have fruit and they usually have salt.
Strictly speaking, fruit is not the style.
Yeah.
Kind of the descriptor. Ross is going to explain it to us here in just a moment.
In a moment.
Please do, Ross.
Well, did you want to hear about that, or did you want to hear about the Silly Gose in particular first?
Let's talk about the style
History.
first.
Yeah,
Let's start with the style, and then let's talk about how this is slightly different than the style.
All right, goses, as you would call them. Some people would say gose or
Geuze.
I've heard, geuze, which is not the same thing. So it's a top fermented beer. It originated in Goslar, Germany. So I wonder why.
Why do they call it geuze?
Yeah. It's usually brewed with at least 50% of the grain bill being malted wheat. Dominant flavors in a gose include a lemon sourness. There's a little bit of that. An herbal characteristic. And a strong saltiness. It's the result of either local water sources or added salt. Gose beers typically do not have a prominent hop bitterness, which I'd say this one doesn't.
Definitely not, no.
Not a prominent hop bitterness, flavors, or aroma. The beer typically has a moderate alcohol content of 4 to 5% ABV.
This is on the high side, right at 5.
Yeah, I think it's at 5, yeah. And because of the use of coriander and salt, goses do not comply with the Reinheitsgebot. It's allowed an exemption on the grounds of being a regional specialty. Also, they were brewing it before they had the Bavarian purity law. Also, I don't think it's part of Bavaria. It's further north. So, I mean, it's not in Bavaria, so you wouldn't have Bavarian laws. Anyway, but then they unified Germany, and then they took the law. Anyway,
worst thing that ever happened.
It's a mess. Anyway.
They should have kept that east and west, man.
That was way before that. Yeah.
I like that the beer survived, though.
I'm aware.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that, actually.
You're talking about it being more... Anyway.
I know.
That was the joke.
I got it. So it acquires its characteristic sourness through inoculation with lactobacillus bacteria. I think originally it was naturally soured, naturally fermented, but over the years they said, nah, fuck it. Let's just put this bacteria in it, so they get the same results every time. They don't have to wait.
It's more consistent.
Yeah,
they don't making sure the fruit's at the right spot and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So what they used to wild ferment, basically.
Yeah. But everything used to be
wild. Yeah.
So goses belong to the same family of sour wheat beers, which were once brewed across northern Germany and the Low Countries, like the Belgian wit beer, Berliner Weiss, and Breuhan, which I've never heard of that, but.
Breuhan?
I probably should have.
You've never heard of Breuhan?
No.
I've had a lot of good Breuhan beers.
You shut your goddamn mouth. You know why I say that? We all know Clint doesn't like beer.
If you've ever listened to the podcast, no. Anyway.
If you've ever listened to the podcast, fuck you, Cutter.
That as well. Oh man, comes back with that saltiness after. Oh yeah. After you don't take a drink for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So do the fruits, at least in this one, come from normally? I would say
this is not a common flavor of geuze, at least traditionally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lemon is typically like citrus. Typically,
that's you get that sour. I wouldn't say it's like tangerine? A lemon flavor.
It's citrus, but apricot is not.
It's a stone fruit.
You're a stone fruit.
Stone cold.
Give me another stone fruit, Clint. What's another stone fruit?
You got it.
It looks just like an apricot.
Peach.
There you go. Is plum considered a stone fruit? I was going to say that's the weird one.
Although that's a different flavor.
Right, exactly.
You can't say stone fruit and then just have...
I mean, technically, you would not be incorrect.
Yeah.
But you could really get people like thrown off guard.
It's stone fruit.
Yeah.
Are there? What else is a stone fruit? Just anything kind of like that.
With the big stone in the middle.
I literally think
gotcha.
cherries are considered stone fruit.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say cherries because I was like, aren't cherries?
Cherries have a very distinct flavor.
I believe they're considered a stone fruit, but they're more lumped into the berry category.
Yeah,
just like you.
I see what you're saying. Nice, well done, sir. That's untrue, though. I'm almost 2/3 of the way through this one. I'd give it a 1.
You just had to acclimate to it.
Yeah,
exactly. It's
I'd say so.
And there's a little bit because with these kind of stranger beers, like these stranger styles, like it's one of those like, all right, well,
that's one of my favorite shows on Netflix.
Stranger beers.
Yeah.
So, as I said earlier, this is really light and goes down pretty easy.
It is.
Why do you think they add salt to it?
Style.
Yeah.
Just for style, not
literally
flavor?
just talked about
We
that.
can talk about the history. I have a lot more history. The Gose style is really interesting. I started researching in it, and there's a lot of stuff to talk about.
Once again, it's not my preferred style of beer, but they've got a lot of variants there off of kind of like your Shandies and your Berliner Weiss styles, right?
I mean, you can do anything with it, really. Anything you want.
Would you consider this a cocktail beer, like something you could
to mix with?
Yeah.
You could mix it with a margarita.
Almost any, it's like to me, almost any fruit beer, like you can really make a cocktail.
I wonder what a beerita with this in it.
I bet it would be pretty decent.
I think because all the same elements are there: citrus, salt. Yeah.
Or a mimosa.
It wouldn't be.
You could do a beer mosa with it.
It wouldn't be much different than like.
Although orange juice might be too strong a flavor.
Salty orange juice, though.
I
don't know about that.
Gatorade. It replaces your electrolytes, man. Come on.
It's what plants crave.
Yeah, they have orange Gatorade. They have like orange Powerade and shit.
Yeah.
So I'm sure.
That doesn't taste like orange juice, guys.
Sunny D.
What kind of orange? Sunny D. It's like it would be like Sunny D.
Sunny D and Dunkaroos.
Sunny D and Dunkaroos.
Let's head back to the 90s, guys, real quick.
In all seriousness,
Sunny D and Dunkaroos.
Sunny D might not be bad with this. Because I'm thinking of the palate, the flavor to it. It's not orange juice, but it's something.
Why don't you just that's what I was about. Why don't you just mix some fucking Tang into it while we're at it?
Fucking moon beer right here.
These look like
Community
Tang
Gose.
these cans.
That's what they should call it. Community goes to the moon. Go sit to the moon.
Yeah.
Add a little bit of orange juice. Patent pending. By the way.
Panther Island has a Gose.
They're out of Dallas too, right?
Yeah.
Just south of?
Yeah.
Or?
Panther Islands is their Gose My Hero. Pretty good name. I don't know.
Yeah, that is a pretty good name.
Yeah.
Do they watch him as he goes?
They probably do. Yeah. Can I get a second one of those cold cruisers? Or are you gonna?
Were we waiting on
everybody else to finish?
Everybody else?
I don't think so.
No, you don't have to wait for everybody else to finish the first
I'm not
one.
rushing these.
We'll wait, and we'll have to wait forever for Cutter to finish. You know.
I'm ahead of Joel. Piece of shit.
Now you
Second
are.
ago,
Man, set the bar real.
Now I am.
Set the bar real low there, Cutter.
That is true. I can tell you this right now. I'm ahead of Tony.
Oh.
Well, Tony's probably like 4 beers in deep right now.
Oh, he's in deep.
Oh, he's in deep.
I don't know what that means. Whatever.
Nobody wants to be on Ross's shit list.
I don't think people care. So, the Silly Gose.
What kind of, just curious, what kind of head should we have on these?
It dissipates really fast.
It does. I was like, a larger head makes more sense to me on these because it does dissipate fast, but
right. Just like in
figuring out which way I
couple
should pour
seconds. I poured it normally the first one, and I had almost no head.
I kind of hard poured the last.
The second one, I tried to do it a little bit harder, and there was a little bit head, and then automatically just
So my head
fell down.
So I poured. You heard me open it. And my head's pretty much gone now.
Yeah.
Is there a characteristic of the beer that you think makes it do that?
I would say salts a little bit because I know in college whenever you had Bud Light
beer
or
salt.
anything, you you just wipe your nose and rub your
yeah.
It's
Do you
the
like
salt
cocaine?
Yeah. Wait, what did I say?
Snort
Salt?
salt?
I meant cocaine.
Just a bump or two.
Just
Get the night going.
Yeah.
Get the night started. Yeah.
Just a little key bump.
The salt probably doesn't help, and
Maybe the lactobacillus. I don't know. No.
No, probably it's
I don't
probably
think that would be it.
I don't know. What else you got for
Lack
us?
of hops, because
that could
hops,
also do it. Yeah.
bittering hops will give you
Was that what kind of hops are you
help your
It
head
is
retention.
you said top fermented, so it is an ale.
Yeah, it's an ale. It's definitely an ale. I'm not sure what hops this is using, but
Can you? Now this is a question, and it's not something that I've seen. Can you do a wheat lager?
oh yeah, definitely.
I've not seen any. That's why.
Yeah, people tend to when they're lagering, they tend to stick with Pilsner malt and maybe Vienna, your typical German.
Just a random thought.
Yeah,
Is
I
it
didn't think. Yeah, I never thought about that. That's a good idea. You should.
experiment.
Yeah, experiment.
Experiment. I like the way this is.
No,
going.
that's a brew philosophy. That's already they already do stuff like that. But yeah, so the Silly Gose, as we said, its ABV is 5%. IBUs 12. To me, it seems kind of lower than that. Lower than 12. I've had bitterer beers that have been.
I find it trouble to guess the IBUs anymore.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah,
we've kind of discussed that too. Where
the number
malts can
really
play a
doesn't
factor,
really.
but
Yeah,
it's not super bitter. I could see why it would be higher if somebody would say, "Oh no, it's really bitter." But
Yeah.
it's mostly that sourness.
I think it could use more hops, really, myself. But that's not to style.
Yeah,
So,
for Gozes.
Yeah, but
general
hops.
they say that the style of the Silly Gose is a fruited Gose, so not a straight up Gose. But they say that the Silly Gose is their take on the traditional, with additions of tangerine peel and apricot puree. The resulting brew is slightly tart and bursting with tropical citrus flavor. To take a page from Cutter, I disagree. And it's one of their year-round beers now.
It is,
starting
yeah.
in 2018.
I'm happy because I do think that there should be more of these kind of outlandish styles.
Yeah,
Are they really
stuff you
people's
don't
more
stuff
core
you don't
collections?
see
Yeah.
everywhere.
Outside of Germany?
I don't care where the style is from, but I like to see more of these modern takes on
classical styles.
Classical
Yeah.
styles. I like to see those more in the core collection because to me that builds more of a brand. Like Live Oak is a perfect example.
Yeah.
They're smoked beers. They're starting to they have a smoked beer on tap all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like those.
least
That's not
more
something
than
that
one,
everybody's
probably,
going to do. But it's something that's kind of core to them. Like their Grodziskie
Yeah.
is a year-round beer that you can pick up all the time. That's something that's like, hey, this is something we're going to do all year round.
Yeah.
It goes like that's not something. Most oftentimes people only brew it in spring, summer months where
Right.
most people are going to drink it. But to see that on the shelf year round, it's going to build that style of beer a little bit more.
Yeah.
It might only be seasonal on somebody else's shelf, which is fine. But to see a brewery do hey, this is a style that we find classically intriguing, and this is what we want to stand behind. I like that personally. I don't care if it's not that great, but to
Something
build
different. It's not just your.
But
to build
everyday-
interest
yeah.
in that style,
Yeah.
to make people try that style more often.
Oh, yeah.
Because what I don't really care for it doesn't necessarily mean that Ross is going to like it, and
Yeah.
clearly Clint's
Probably
probably not going to like
Yeah.
it.
Except for this one. I guess you just don't like beer.
All my ones,
A
to his
beer.
7.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
The few things I've had from them, and so like I said, I'm not really halfway into this one yet, but I'm into it. I can get to it. It took me a little bit of adjusting my palate to
Right.
figure out where I like it, but it's fruity. I can see the draw to it. It's not my first choice of beer.
No.
But if I see this on a menu, it's this or Bud Light. Oh, this all day long. That little bit of fruit is like
That
the
high of
complexity.
praise.
Huh?
It's on a menu with Bud Light. That high
Well,
of praise.
that's
Such high
we've
praise.
never really established what a 1 is, and that's where my
Well,
thing is.
I think we established for anybody new, which I keep forgetting. I keep we just say 1 or 0, and never really explain it. So people coming in fresh,
we work on a binary system.
Yeah. So it's either you'll drink it or you won't drink it. Most of the time, we'll drink it.
These heathens will drink about anything.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's true. I have gotten requests from some people off the show, like to say, "Hey, you guys should do a like a Miller Lite episode, or like a brown bag, or like a."
And we've thought about that. We've said that a few times, but life's too short to drink bad beer. Why? Let's just stick to Texas beers, good beers.
Tell you
right?
what, or if you want to send us beer,
hey, we have a Patreon. You can.
Give us beer money and tell us to go drink that beer.
We have that. That is a tier on there. You give us, I think it's $5. I don't know, and you can tell us what to drink.
Yeah,
there you go. So Goses, there's a lot more to talk about here. First brewed in the early 13th century in the town of Goslar, as we said, and that's where the name comes from. Of course, it was brewed with water from the Gose River. It wasn't until the 1730s that it became popular down the road in a little town called Leipzig.
I got a question for you, Russ. Mm-hmm. Are you a god?
when somebody asks,
you say yes.
I'll have to cut that anyway. So it's so popular in Leipzig, in fact, that local breweries began copying the styles. By the end of the 1800s, it was considered to be local to Leipzig and not Goslar. And there were numerous Gosenschaken, which is German for Gose Tavern, in the city. So then Leipzig was known as the Gose City. Originally, Goses were spontaneously fermented, as we talked about. Sometime in the 1880s, brewers were achieving the same effect by using a combination of yeast and lactic acid bacteria. And then they achieved the same results every time. Probably they can control it better. Anyway, but normally when a brewer makes a beer, they mash it, boil it up, ferment, and then they package. Well, Gose brewers didn't do it that way. They would brew it, and then they'd immediately package and deliver it in casks to the Schaken.
I would guess they did that because this has to have a short shelf life.
No.
It doesn't?
The salt preserves.
See that it was.
I don't know. That's
that would make sense.
I mean, it may be, but like, I don't know if that really plays a part.
And the sourness keeps it from developing more.
Acid, sugar, and salt are typically your natural preservatives.
Yeah, but also they had yeast. So casks were stored in a cellar in the Schaken, with the hole in the top left open. This allows the CO2 with the still active yeast to escape. So yeast was pouring out of the hole. It was bubbling up. So when fermentation had slowed to a point where no gas was emerging, the Gose was ready to bottle. They traditionally used long neck bottles, and they weren't closed with a cap or a cork, but as the secondary fermentation continued, the yeast would climb up the neck and form a natural cork. And I've read this. It wasn't a super great way to bottle, as you can imagine. You shake your bottle a little too much, and yeast plug might pop out, and you just have beer everywhere.
I have that problem
all
the time.
Yeah, what a waste. But still, they were producing around 1 million bottles a year at this time. It sounds like a lot.
How many breweries were there in Goslar?
There was a huge one, and they delivered to all the Schakens around. So I think the city might have had 1 or 2, and then more. I don't know. Okay, we're in Leipzig. We're in Germany, 1880s. And they're producing 1 million bottles a year. But that was still less than half of what the smallest Munich breweries were producing. So it wasn't really more than just a regional specialty at that time. And by the outbreak of World War II, the Ritterguts Brewery, Dolnitz, which is Manor Brewery in English, was the last brewery producing Gose. In 1945, it was nationalized and then closed, and Gose disappeared for the first time. And apparently all German breweries closed in 1944, 1945. I had read that
they were all making bullets.
German beer production during those years was effectively zero. I couldn't find out what was happening.
Everyone was on vacation.
So in Germany, the Goses all ghosted.
Yes, they did.
Do you think they were making silver bullets like Coors?
Tap the Rockies.
That's why they wanted more Coors.
Wait,
it's just
what was
easier
this?
to
World War One, World War
two.
Well, are you fucking serious?
No, I didn't listen, so
Of course.
The Holocaust. The Holocaust was happening.
I didn't listen, so I wasn't sure what period of time we were in now.
Wait, they didn't have beer in the Holocaust?
Not.
Wow, that's depressing.
Yeah, that's the part.
Oh my god,
man, that's Nate Bargatze level.
I'm not even mad. That was a great joke. That was a great joke.
That
made me feel dirty inside.
That's why I know
that's how it's a great joke. Yeah.
That was a great joke.
Oh man. So anyway, after the war, breweries started opening again, and Gose was revived in 1949. At that time, the tiny Friedrich Wurlitzer Brewery opened in Leipzig. Friedrich Wurlitzer had worked at the Dolnitz Brewery and had known the techniques for brewing Gose. Before his death in the late 1950s, Wurlitzer passed the recipe to his stepson, Guido Finster, which does not sound German to me.
Well, they border Italy.
We're gonna come in here and we're gonna brew some beer. It's gonna be beautiful.
Hey, you fucking guy.
You fucking guy.
So there's only like 5-10 years maybe where they didn't have it, where the world.
Yeah, about like 5 years, probably 4 or 5 years.
Interesting.
He said it effectively disappeared. I'm sure there were still some really small
or old bottles,
places.
maybe. Yeah. Well, I think effectively you couldn't brew beer at that point. At that point in time. So,
yeah. Well, Shiner couldn't brew beer during Prohibition, but I've been to the brewery and they gave me the tour.
Shiner's been around that long?
That is true. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, they have.
Effectively, you could still brew beer.
Yeah, you should. You could. I mean, if you can get a yeast,
you could still do naturally.
So all right. So Guido had the recipe, and brewing of Gose continued in the small private brewery. But demand for the salty treat had waned, and by the 1960s, there were only a couple of pubs in Leipzig, and possibly one in Halle that were still selling it. In 1966, Finster died. The brewery closed. It was the last in a long line that had either shut or integrated as a VEB or communist beer conglomerate.
Goddamn integration.
Under East German nationalization. Worse, though, is that the Wurlitzer's brewing books containing the Gose recipe were destroyed. Looked like the Gose was dead and gone, and Tom Mix wept.
So that's the second time that it kind of disappeared.
It was gone for about 20 years at this point.
Oh, wow.
In the 1980s, Lothar Goldhahn was restoring a former Goschenscheik. So that pub had been damaged during a bombing raid in 1943. It's named Owen Bedingken, which is translated roughly to "without a doubt." He decided.
I doubt that.
He decided the revived pub should sell Goses. Because that's what it was there.
Because he got bombed out of his mind.
Yeah. He was joined by a former microbiologist turned bartender, and after research, because communism, and he couldn't find a job anyway.
As a microbiologist,
he had to be.
Regime was like, we can't use you.
So he had to be a bartender. All right, and
let me hook up with this guy named Guido. Get his recipe real quick.
Hey, it's gonna be beautiful. Anyway,
it's gonna be beautiful.
Hey, listen here, you fucking guy.
And after research, which basically meant asking people and one person that worked at the old brewery what it's supposed to taste like, Goldhahn searched for a brewery to produce it, but no local breweries were willing to make such an odd beer until the Schultheiss Berliner Weiss Brewery in East Berlin agreed. The first test brews were made in 1985 and production started in 1986. At the time, many Leipzigers had never had a Gose. They smelled the funky aroma and tasted the acidic tartness, and they asked, "Is this drinkable?"
I'd say yes.
And then the bartender, former microbiologist, said, "Owen Bedingken, without a doubt."
I doubt it.
That is what it actually means.
Yeah. So
fuck you, Cody.
There are other translations. I don't know, but without a doubt is what I read is what it's supposed to be.
Was it not no doubt?
No doubt.
Well, yeah, you could say roughly no doubt.
No doubt.
So around the 80s, it had fallen out of fashion, though. Again,
At the end of the 80s after they revived it?
the late 80s.
Sort of like lived for like 6 years.
Yeah. Not even that long. And it looks like they contract brewed for a while until the Bavarian Andreas Schneider Brewery started brewing Goses in 1995, and they've been brewing it ever since. In fact, they built a brewery in the heart of Leipzig in a converted train station. And there are now several specialized Gose breweries again. In addition, the style continues to be brewed outside of Germany, most notably in the United States.
Interesting.
Is there a Austin place that makes a good Gose?
I've had the only other... I forgot I had it actually before, but the only other place... No, there are plenty of other places, but I haven't. I've had one from Oasis, which is seasonal. Their El Grito.
El Grito, yeah.
Yeah, which I forgot was a Gose because it's got salt and lime, and it just kind of tastes like...
I want to say that Oscar Blues has one also.
Oh, I'm sure they do. Well, I don't know.
I want to say that they do, but
I would think they do. They have a lot of styles.
Yeah.
I don't know about year round or anything, but...
Right.
Because I'm enjoying the
Definitely
style.
not year round. Even El Grito from Oasis.
No, it's not year round. Yeah,
and it wouldn't surprise me at all if Austin Beer Works did too.
I would just I want to find something that's
recently they've been doing some weird stuff like
that's not a Dallas beer.
Yeah, well, El Grito.
Fucking Dallas, man! Don't get me started.
Okay, we weren't trying to.
We didn't. Nobody mentioned Dallas actually,
except for me.
I mean, at the very beginning, probably about 30 minutes ago.
It fucking has Chance in it, Fucking Dallas.
That's where the saltiness comes from.
It's
the Mavericks.
So that was all about the style.
Yeah,
that's a lot of info.
There's
that
a
is
lot
probably
of
the
stuff.
most info we've had on any beer.
I have more, but I mean, I can.
No,
it's a really interesting style. It's most interesting because I had no idea anything about Goses.
All this podcasting has made me realize that we need to go to Germany and do some episodes in Germany.
This is all right. So this is the second conversation that I've had with you and or your wife in the last week about going to Germany.
Yeah,
I want to give out I want to give a shout out to Texas Yeast Labs because I used the information that I got from Dan. Dan.
He prefers Danny. Nasty Danny.
Nasty Danny.
No, he doesn't.
That's what I've heard on Instagram. It's the word on the street.
I've heard. I want to thank Dan.
Yeah.
So because some guy was asking me about German pills today. He's like, I want to try a brand new German pills, and I was like, let me tell you about this one.
Stefan Urkel.
Yeah, Stefan Urkel. So I gave a shout out, and I was like, hey,
it's a really good
one.
By
the way, do a local beer podcast that I recorded with the Yeast guys from down in New Braunfels, and he was the one that brought this up. So
yeah, that was a really good episode too. I had fun, and your mind was blown at one point. I remember, so that was
scoops. It was scoops.
No, that wasn't it.
By the way, Dan, I want a piece of that action. It was my idea.
I am glad you said action. I thought you were going somewhere else.
You know what I'm talking about, Dan. You know damn well.
Dan,
about.
I want a piece of that ass.
That's what I thought. I thought it was going that way.
Well, you got to say I want a piece of that action, Dirty Dan.
Nasty Dan.
Nasty Dan.
Nasty Dan.
I want a piece of that. You know what I'm talking about.
Now I know who you are, Nasty Dan.
Apparently, that's what the guys at Faust Brewing call him.
Oh.
They're also a local. I think they're in San Marcos. Or New Braunfels.
So, do we want to talk about the Silly Gose in particular? Like, what this...
Oh, I did. I mean,
community?
You talked about...
Clint doesn't listen.
I don't, I guess.
5%, 11.
I thought we said we were going to talk about history first and then get into, like, how this style differentiates from the traditional style.
From the... Well, we talked about it as I was... Okay, I'll say it again.
No, it's fine.
So it's 5% ABV.
Right.
Yes.
11 is
IBUs.
the original gravity.
Oh, right.
12 IBUs.
Yep.
Style is a fruited Gose.
But why is it not a traditional Gose?
Basically, the only thing that really makes it
They
different
added-
is that add the fruit.
Yeah.
Adding the
and
tangerine
apricot.
peel and apricot.
Yeah.
But everything else is pretty much the style.
Yeah. I mean,
and I don't know that the tangerine makes it. I mean, it's tangerine peel, but do we think that makes it any more tart? Is that why it's a little bit more tart than maybe other gozes I've had?
I don't know. Maybe they just tarted it up, soured it a little bit more on the lactobacillus. Maybe it could be the tangerine.
They tarted it up like Nasty Danny.
Yes. I had something here about the salt, goses and salt.
This one, this one's lighter on the salt, I would say.
What?
It's like, I get it.
Really?
I get the salt. Yeah, it's definitely noticeable. But most gozes, you can definitely get a heavy dose of salt on the finish.
And that's what I'm saying. I wonder if like the tangerine peel comes into play in that regard.
What's the one from Avery? What's Avery's gose?
White Rascal.
No, that's their white.
I was going to say that. It's the only one I can remember.
I can't think of Avery's off the top of my head, but that was the first introduction to me to gozes, and it was salty and limey.
Yeah,
it was like it was almost like drinking really light salted margarita.
Yeah.
Like that's what it was like to me.
And that's I think kind of what I'm thinking of when I think of a gose is like something's more salty and maybe a little bit of tartness, but like not like this.
I said most of the American styles that I've tried now, they're either super heavy on the tart or they're super heavy on the salt.
They go.
They have both.
Go to an extreme.
Yeah, they have both, but they're either one or the other. This one I feel like is more tart, but it's not like super tart.
I disagree, but I would rather want something with tart.
Like I said, that's just what I get. Like to me, it's like it's. I've had much saltier gozes.
I almost, if it was a little bit more bitter, I would think of it like as a grapefruit with salt on it. Is how I would think of this.
I could see. Oh, you said if it was more bitter?
More bitter.
Yeah, I could see that. Definitely.
There's another Texas
Ruby Red.
Gose.
Yeah, if there was no salt, then there's more fruit. Yeah.
There's another Texas gose that I really want to try.
Yeah,
it's out of It's a New Braunfels Brewing. It's called Jose the Rose Gose.
Yeah, that's is it Rough House? No, not Rough House.
New Braunfels.
New Braunfels Brewing.
New Braunfels Brewing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that the one that's right next door to the Texas Yeast Lab?
Sure, why not? Yeah, I'll believe.
No,
it.
There's one that. There's Texas.
I'm entitled to believe you. I've not been to either one.
Or is that Guadalupe?
I think Guadalupe. I think he said Guadalupe.
They have multiple ones in New Braunfels.
Yeah, they have like 3 breweries at least now.
That place is blown up.
Yeah. So you're talking about the salt. A lot of people disagree on where the salt came from. Some people say they added it because traditionally it was made with the water from the river, the Gose River.
Is it a salt river?
The thing is, if you make beer with that water now, there's no salt. There's no salt at all. But they're saying it was a mining town back when they originally started brewing and for several hundred years. And so they're theorizing, they can't say for sure because, they weren't around back then, but that the minerals, the runoff from the mine was in the river and that caused it to be very salty, very minerally. And then they just naturally used that water. So they never added salt or anything.
They never set out to make a salty beer.
Oh, really?
It's just the water. Yeah.
So it's more like convenience. It's like, that's how it turned out.
It's not, they never intended for it to be salty. It was just, that's the water that's there. And so they're making beer with it.
Yeah.
So which is interesting because now you have to.
That kind of adds to that element of locality, though. Like
very much.
The ingredients you can get from your local area impact how your beer tastes. Right?
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
And that's
and it's another really interesting thing about goses.
I feel like you can't get a truly hyper local beer anymore because everybody kind of affects the pH of the water and do all that stuff anymore. And so you can make a beer taste,
except for places that like similar. If they use their natural well water or something like that.
Jester King.
And they don't.
Do they?
Yeah,
Shiner
Jester King
does. Shiner does.
Yeah, actually, Whitestone. They just use their natural water, the city water.
But I thought
heavy
Ryan
minerals
was actually talking about how they
add for I think their hazy IPAs and stuff like that. They added salts, but other than that, they try to keep it natural, and they have like heavy calcium.
I feel like that's harder.
In their water.
It's getting harder and harder to drink like hyper local beers because of that. But it's like those smaller breweries
Well,
I'm happy that we kind of try to promote them a little bit more. We have some of the bigger guys, the independent guys. They try to do it right.
But the other aspect of that is, you can't just get water from a stream anymore and just throw that into your beer.
Give me some of this water.
Yeah, let's go get some water out of Lake Austin and use that in our beer. No. Gentlemen, I am 3 beers in.
Yes. Joel, I think, are you on your 4th?
No, he's not.
I'm
he's
halfway through my 3rd.
Is that your 3rd? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on my 3rd.
It's getting a little bit better. It's salty.
It's still not my okay, well, Clint, you wanna go first since you
yeah, I still really enjoy this beer. I am still a 1 on it. I could drink maybe 1, 2 more. I mean, I could really easily do that. It's not, at least for right now, I don't feel it too strongly.
Yeah.
Which is unusual. I probably drank too fast, actually. Yeah, it's only 9:30. Yeah, I probably drank too fast.
It goes down easy.
It goes down so easy.
It goes down easy.
It goes down easy.
Like Cutter's mom.
What?
She's a handsome lady.
But yeah, I like it. I enjoy the tart, sour, and salt complexity of it, and I think I just enjoy the geuze style overall.
Yeah. I think we need to try more.
Yeah.
If not on the podcast and just in general, it's a 1 for me
now.
Yeah. Well, like halfway through my first one, it was a 1. It's not my favorite. I would probably order a geuze now at any bar if they had one. I would like more fruit from it. You get some fruit on the nose, and even on the can, I think it says like a citrus bomb explosion, something like that, which I didn't really get. I got like the salt. I got more of the salt than the sour, really, myself.
Do you want more apricot or more tangerine?
Apricot, probably.
Yeah, you want more apricot.
More stone fruit. Or
he wants more of the non-traditional.
Yes.
Or orange instead of tangerine. Anyway, but...
I don't know.
Yeah. Tangerine is Sunny D for me. But maybe a shot of orange juice in this. Oh, yeah. Not like half and half, because I feel that would be too much. I think any other like flavor would overpower this because it's so light.
Yeah.
But the lightness like leads to the drinkability. So
right.
I got through 3 amazingly fast.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not amazingly, but
fast.
Fast, yeah.
Pretty quickly, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm preface it with a 1. I'm going to disagree with Ross on a few aspects.
Son of a bitch.
I feel like it could use more fruit, more body to it.
Oh yeah, that's disagreeing.
I think that would lend more to the drinkability. Huh?
What fruit?
Any fruit or
both of them?
Yeah.
It's like the first few sips I got a lot of apricot, but as it went on, I got more of the tangerine. I feel like the citrus would really balance out the acidity, because I feel like it's not a real acidic beer.
Okay, yeah.
And I feel like the salt is low. The salt content low compared to the other gozes that I've had. Mm-hmm. Very, very low.
Well,
again, that being said, very well balanced between fruit and salt.
But you want more fruit.
I want more fruit.
Yeah.
But I would also.
So you don't want the balance.
I want more body. I would say I want more body.
You don't like how light it is?
Yes. So I want a little bit bigger beer. The flavor is good, but it feels watered down.
What about like more wheat or more?
I could use more wheat. To me, it's not super complex.
More maltiness.
That's what you said earlier. That it is complex.
The first beer I had, and it's like the first beer I had was more complex, but I feel like as it warmed up, like it was more just like fruit salt. Yeah, but very, very drinkable. Like, I was surprised at how drinkable.
Yeah, but if you start making it more full body or whatever, it's not going to be as drinkable.
Drinkability, I think. Yeah,
I disagree.
But if you had a really great taste,
right? Because I feel like the more
it's a balancing act.
I feel like the more fruit you would add, it would add more sugar, and it's like the more salt you would add, it would take away from that sugar, so it wouldn't make it as sweet.
It would cut through.
It would still be more drinkable, but it would add more body. So I give it a 1. I wish it had more, like just more in general, because and I feel like
that.
I feel like this is more true to style, because I feel like if you added more fruit, more salt,
it would not be
get more body. It wouldn't be a geuze.
Yeah,
but Whatever. I don't give a shit. But it's like that style, because I've heard so many different.
No, I know.
Hey,
we're trying to set him straight here. All right.
I hear what you're saying, and I'd like to tell you you're wrong. So
I don't know. You're going to.
Oh, I just did.
I'm not here
anyway,
for any bolt. No.
1. I give it a 1. It's like I said, very, very drinkable.
Yeah.
I definitely drink this again. It's like it took me a little bit to acclimate, but
I'm still getting the salt on my lips.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't know. Cutter's fucking wrong. That's all I know.
But he gave it a 1. How is he wrong?
Because of his like the whole spiel he just went through was nothing but bullshit. So
well, any spiel of
anything coming out of Cutter's mouth is pretty much bullshit. So.
Hey, Cutter.
Hey, Ross. What's going on?
Remember when you put up an ad on Craigslist?
Yes.
Yeah, you were looking for somebody to dress up as the Easter Bunny. And like what has happened so many times before, the guy showed up dressed as Santa Claus, started handing out cigarettes and scrap metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And remember
that one time.
Remember how he told your 12 filthy, dirty, bearded, red-headed Irish children that the Easter Bunny died and he ate him?
Why are you going to bring up old shit, right?
Well, next time you need someone to handle your eggs, try ZipRecruiter. Just use their step-by-step form or customize your own to ensure you receive the most qualified candidates. Just use their step-by-step form or customize your own to ensure you receive the most qualified candidates. With one click, they'll post your listing to hundreds of sites and you'll instantly be matched with your ideal candidate. Next time, you won't get stuck with somebody that once scissor-kicked Alanis Morissette because he hates irony. ZipRecruiter. It's not just slavery with extra steps.
That was fucking fantastic.
I do feel like that would be better for Angie's list, though.
I have to do one for Angie's list.
Oh man, I'm not even mad about it. Not even mad. One more drink, Joel. It's like I know you just took one, but one more.
There you go.
Hey, good guy, Joel.
That's.
Based on Joel's face, I'm gonna go ahead and guess what Joel's gonna put on this one.
Oh man. Okay, Joel, come on.
He did not like that salty surprise.
I'm going rogue. This is perhaps the worst beer we've ever had.
Really? Wow.
Okay.
Strong words.
Well, I'm glad you got through 3 of them.
It's salty. At least for me, the fruit doesn't stick out very much.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
I would have liked the reverse, a little bit less salt, more fruit.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like just the salt just fucks it up. It just and maybe just the style. Maybe I just don't like the style.
Yeah.
It may not be any fault to community, but even right now, like as it gets warmer and you drink it, it almost tastes like a wine. To me, it's a little bit more consistent. There's not a lot of, it doesn't get all complex as it warmed up a little bit.
As it warmed up, I would agree with you.
Yeah, it died down the complexity of it and the fruit flavor, but the salt, goddamn, so hard. So like the first, it like went in waves. Like the first beer was a little bit of a surprise, and the salt was there. The second one I actually liked more than the first one because I was getting used to it.
Yeah.
But by the time I had to like finish the second one and get to the third, I was like, I don't want to do this. And it just afterwards, I'm like, I don't know how. Like, I guess I'd have one, but
have you had any other gozes that you're aware of?
I guess we're gonna find out soon because what are we drinking next? Is it?
Geuze.
Yeah, I've had those, but I haven't had a geuze.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you've had a geuze, but not a geuze.
I've never had a geuze.
Yeah,
a goose.
Geuze.
Yeah, I've had a geuze, but I haven't had a
goose.
Silly Gose.
Yeah, it is different. So
yeah,
I like those better. But this one is not for me.
What's the difference?
So the difference is.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Clint. There are 2 beers out there that sound sort of similar, but are extremely different. Gozes and geuze. And so to further confuse the issue, both beers fall in the wildly varied category of sour beers. So they're both sour beers. They both contain a pretty high portion of wheat, and that's about where the similarities end. A geuze, pronounced goza, is a historically German refreshing wheat beer that is only slightly tart. Gozes are traditionally brewed with coriander and salt. The original style is probably crafted over 1,000 years ago. In recent years, modern American craft breweries have dabbled in this historic style with great success.
You make it sound like the original gin and tonic.
Yeah,
almost.
yeah. But geuze lambic beers, on the other hand, are not nearly as easy to describe. A geuze, pronounced geuze, of course,
Geuze.
Yes,
right?
yeah. It doesn't look. I mean, I guess you could say, oh, yeah, geuze. Okay, but it's spelled actually two different ways.
Does it have the dots on it?
No.
Umlauts. They're called umlauts.
Umlauts?
So,
All right. So geuze.
So a geuze is a type of spontaneously fermented lambic beer, which is a blend of several different years of barrel-aged beer. This means that, at minimum, these beers take 3 years to make.
Geuze?
Yes.
3 years in.
3 years.
3 years in. Nice. I like it.
Another key difference couched in that last sentence is that gouzes spend their entire life in oak barrels, whereas gozes aren't traditionally made with the use of barrels anymore.
So
they were at once because everything was in a barrel.
So are you saying the geuze comes from the wood?
It's the wood that makes it good.
That's part of it.
Wood that makes it geuze. Yeah.
I also noticed that the one that you picked up with the cork, I assume that is bottle fermented. Like secondary fermented.
I think so. But all right. So
conditioned. That's the word I was looking for. Sorry.
Conditioned.
So you just give it long enough and the geuze comes out of the wood, huh?
Well,
yeah.
But
when blended and ready, gouzes are an extremely complex, tart flavor bomb of beer goodness. The BJCP.
The what now?
Or the BJCP, Beer Judge Certification Program.
Oh, it's not the blowjob certification program.
Oh man, no. Cutter's not doing that tonight. They describe flavors as a wide range of wild barnyard, horse blanket, or leather characteristics.
The fuck?
Intermingling with citrus, fruity flavors and acidity. Oh man, a wild ride.
So there's no saltiness in this geuze.
No. So the key difference is geuze can be made relatively quickly, whereas gouzes take a long time. Geuze is traditionally spontaneously fermented, where gozes are intentionally not inoculated with lactobacillic bacteria and use an ale yeast. A geuze is traditionally brewed with coriander and salt. Not so with the geuze, which does not have any spices added. A geuze is aged in barrels. Gose is not. Geuze is wonderfully funky and tart, where a gose has much more subtle acidity.
So literally the only thing that they have in common is salt.
Not salt.
No.
Did you listen?
Coriander and salt
in the gose. Not in the geuze.
In the geuze.
Geuze doesn't have any spices added. They're both considered sour beers.
Spice?
No, nothing added, you fuck. Come on.
They don't.
Why you gotta be technical?
I don't want to punch this kid.
Yeah.
I know.
So,
You're about to get
episode.
You're about to get some geuze all over your face.
Yeah, I am.
Later.
Right there.
Because you're part of the BJCP.
The blowjob certification program. Yeah.
What I do in my off time to earn my money, I don't feel like I should be judged for. You can find me at Oil Can Harry's down on 4th Street.
You just keep that beard
Harry's.
clean, all right?
Yeah. Brush it out. Just all these hard parts.
Why does your beard have knots in it?
Man, that smells funky.
It does smell funky.
I'm assuming we're not going 3 beers in on this one.
No,
this is just
just a comparison.
Yeah.
In style. Similar styles. Similar?
Not really. Based on what he said.
Just the name.
Just the name is similar, yeah.
They're both from the same family of...
Sours? Yeah.
Yeah, they're both sours. And they're made with wheat.
This smells like a sour, Pilsner, almost.
This smells like something Jester King would make.
It smells like a sour Pilsner.
You'll drink some shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's got some funk.
Oh, it does.
Jester King. You'll drink some shit.
Mine's nice and cloudy.
Oh, yeah. Who's this from? Did I miss that part?
I got.
We're
got
drinking the Old Goose Boone from Boone.
Boone Brewery.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not a fan?
I don't know how. Yeah, I probably shouldn't describe it that way.
No, go ahead and describe it.
The first
Some people like feet.
Oh, toes!
The first sip of it tasted like when I've been so drunk that I threw up, and that's what it tastes like.
Jeez.
I can see that.
It's not a good description.
That's what it smells like.
If you drink so much and it's just fermenting and boiling up in your stomach, this is what it tastes like. But it's
like
not that it's
morning
bad.
after.
Yeah.
Again, so Cutter poured first. Yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot of the yeast.
Yeah.
Which
You should.
Clint mixed ours.
I just poured ours together, and
which
then
I
poured it
didn't
back
think
in.
about. And Cutter had said, "Is it bottle conditioned?" And I guess it is because there's some
Most of your
yeast in the
corked
bottom.
beers are.
Yeah,
That's why
you got some
I
yeast in the
assumed
bottom. So this is 2014 and 2015
Is that when it was bottled, or is those awards?
as the brewing season.
Yeah,
Okay.
brewing season.
Nice.
That's when it was brewed. So.
Wow. Wait, who did you say it was that made it?
Oh man,
Yeah. Boone.
It smells worse than it tastes.
yeah, it's
like to me,
sparkly on the tongue.
Yeah, it does kind of.
a lot more carbonation than the geuze.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a little warm too, so that's not a fair shake. But
I feel like this is being served at the proper temperature, but that's just me.
Oh, it tastes so much like
what does that aftertaste taste like to you?
Salty.
it's
No,
It's
it's
funk.
not fucking salty.
leathery.
Jesus fucking Christ, this guy. Leathery.
I don't get leathery.
Well, maybe you should have mixed the beer
aftertaste.
like I did with.
You mean some
Ross.
of your fucking beer then?
Try it.
Because I don't have as much yeast.
To me, it almost smells and tastes like a cologne.
Oh yeah, like a woodsy cologne almost,
Yeah.
Like Ode Wood.
or Curve Soul. Do you remember that
oh,
shit?
man. You're,
So type
you're
of
bringing
cologne.
it back.
Oh, because Curve is a cologne, right?
Going
Curve
back
is a
to the- going
cologne,
back to
but
the
Curve
Claiborne days,
Soul in particular was like a more woodsy smell, like an older kind of smell.
I can see that. You can definitely tell it's aged. I will say that. You can definitely tell it's been on wood.
Did they have a specific type of wood they like to age this in? Oak?
Yeah, oak, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most oftentimes
Oak.
age things in oak.
Yeah.
Cedar, maybe.
This one doesn't have any fruit.
Ooh, I don't know if cedar would be good.
Mesquite.
Mesquite.
We should age something in mesquite. So, yeah, this is. So, what are y'all?
I wouldn't want to drink
Zero.
3 of these.
I don't think I want to ever drink
A
this
whole one?
style of beer again.
I don't know if I could finish it.
They have different goozes, but I just wanted to get a straight, really traditional goose. And
Yeah.
that's what this is.
Maybe if you, but I mean, I just.
Jester King would do it better.
You think so?
Because they're
Probably.
We should
in
ask
Texas.
him. We should email him and ask him like, hey,
Oh, yeah.
can you make a goose
Where's this one
I'm sure
from?
he has. This is from Belgium.
for us to try?
Here's my thoughts. And this is probably going to be.
What if he made a goose and aged it in a wine barrel?
You and your wine barrels, man. Damn.
I just want to know.
Yeah, no, and yeah.
And maybe put some leaves and twigs in that shit.
I mean, this is. I can't say that I like it, but I'd still drink more of it.
I
Would you?
All right, here's my thoughts on this goose. It is not a style that I would just. Often
That you would go to?
I would often go out of my way
yeah,
for.
right.
But occasionally, just like, you know what?
I haven't had a goose in a while. I might like one.
It's a
Why?
I'm just saying this is what he's.
no,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Yeah, once in a while you
Again.
might want a goose.
why?
Yeah,
You
just
like
a different,
sours?
just a different
It's not something you
flavor.
wanna
This
drink.
isn't overly like. This isn't much of a sour. This
I
is
disagree.
like a funk. This is funky and woody.
There's a snake in my boots.
Try it.
This really reminds me of the Van Dam.
Yeah.
I agree.
yeah.
That's
Okay.
where I'm at.
It's brewed in the same way. It's a lambic. Van Dam's a lambic, so there's going to be those similar sort of flavors. I'm
No,
thinking,
I don't think I get much sour out of it.
I could see it. Say, especially if you like poured it over ice cream.
every beer is better over ice cream.
Clint's nightmare. Clint's nightmare.
Lambics are always better over ice cream.
Fucking bullshit. I do not get a lot of sour out of this goose. I get funkiness,
Yeah.
sure. A little sweetness, sure. And then I get the woody, oaky aftertaste. That reminds
my
me
thought on
of
this. Here's my thought on
cologne.
this. This is the 14-15 brewery season.
You think an older one would be?
The older ones are going to be more sour and tart.
Right, yeah, as
think
it
so?
ages. Yes.
It's like, so if it was younger, it would not have that sour and tartness on the finish. I think I would like it more because it would have more of that
a younger
Germanic style. it's like it was that more of that kind of maltiness to it, that body to it, opposed to that sour and funk to it.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I think a younger one would fit Clint's profile more because anything that's bottle conditioned,
but this is pretty much the youngest you can get because it takes 3 years to.
Here in the States.
If you're saying it would be more sour if it was older, then give me an older one.
You want an older one?
A sour one?
Yeah, because he wants.
I don't
something,
think this is sour.
Yeah, he's not picking up sour. But as you age it, it'll get funkier.
But what I'm saying
as well,
is
though.
If you went younger, you'd get more of those kind of Germanic notes, like those.
Less of the funky leather,
less
wood,
funk, more
stuff.
malt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys are on the same point. He wants something that's older, and
you would either want more sour or more malty because it's like right in the middle.
It's mostly funky with an oaky aftertaste.
Okay.
So,
that's what we're
so
talking
you
about.
guys would say
I don't
it's
get much
very
oak on it,
similar to
personally.
the Gose? That's what you're
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not similar to the Gose.
Do we have any more of the Gose?
Yes.
is that the green can?
Can I snag one of those cold cruisers?
Can we agree that this one is much more complex than the
Yeah.
Gose?
I would say
Absolutely.
so.
Yeah.
No.
Wait,
Are you saying no just to say no?
I feel like the Gose had a lot of flavor profile to it as well.
That we all agreed.
It didn't
on.
have a funky profile, but it did have like a lot of elements to it.
okay.
A lot of complexity.
But this one is less complex.
No.
That's what you just time out.
That's
Just
not
so
what
we're
I just
clear.
said.
Just so we're clear.
No. The question
Well,
was,
thanks,
this one
everybody,
was
for
more
joining us
complex. And I said, no, this is not more complex. They're probably on about the same level of complexity
But
to me.
about the same level means that they're not on the same level.
I mean, it's like that, maybe?
So which
For the
one's
viewers at home, I'm like making a gesture of like one is slightly more.
Let me take a
no,
picture of Clint
look.
just explaining the difference in profile.
Y'all are acting like this is way more complex. I don't think it's that much more complex.
Well,
Like-
what does Ross think? I think Ross.
Yeah,
thinks
what
different.
Ross?
I think Ross thinks it's.
Can
Ross
someone
thinks
hand me
it's
another
complex.
Gose, please, Joel?
Why am I over here?
Because you're over there. I don't know, man.
Thanks
where you
everybody
always
for
sit, Joe.
joining us tonight.
No, all right. Everybody, go around
No.
and get your final thoughts because this argument is never going to be settled.
Very different. I don't know. But I think we already said we gave our. Are
We need
we
to do that,
doing it on the goose?
Yes.
No?
Yeah,
I think we should, yeah.
I'm a 0.
Really?
I would try another one.
Would you drink 3 of them?
Actually, I probably could. It wouldn't be my favorite beer.
Still one though?
I mean, I drank it.
You drank
I
it for
would've-
the podcast, but
I would've-
like if you
Yeah, I would order one out at a bar. Probably not this one,
but something else.
but a goose. Yeah.
so
I
not
would,
so this beer is a 0 then.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, the Ode Goose Boon a la Ancien. Yeah, it's not my favorite, but I'd like to explore other gooses.
To me, this is something that I would really like to do a vertical flight of.
Yeah, because it would
A
really
14, 15,
change.
to 15, 16, to 16, 17. I would
To see what the different flavor
Right.
profiles
Yeah.
are
I
for
would
each year.
Personally, that's what I would like to do with this because just going into this blind, I give this a 0. I could not do 3 beers of this.
Would you ever go drink this again?
I would drink one. I would
This
drink one.
or a goose.
I would any of them. I would drink this one again.
If it was given to you, or would you buy one?
I would buy another. Like
Okay.
I get on these funky sour kicks,
But
and
not
it's like,
tomorrow.
This is
Like-
not. This would not be my go-to sour beer.
No.
Gotcha.
Like, there's definitely other Belgians that I would lean to more than this one. But if we had a new vintage come in to the store,
Yeah.
yeah, I would definitely.
They have a different version. I don't know.
But it's
don't know the difference.
Would
but-
you say that it's mostly driven by your curiosity at this point, and not because you necessarily enjoyed what you just drank?
No, I would say that I enjoyed it, but I was going to bring this up a little bit earlier. I feel this fad towards going towards like pint-sized beers.
Yeah.
It brings it up towards that 500 milliliter level, which is fine. But I had a beer the other night, and I've seen this increasingly as it was a can. It was an American beer.
Outside of the podcast?
Outside of the podcast. I'm finding these pint-sized beers, 12 ounces, very easy to drink. But those last 4 ounces, it's like, man, I don't know if I could do those last 4 ounces.
Some of them, it just warms up too quickly, and I don't want.
It's not even so much. There's so much warming up, but like the beer I drank the other day it was called an Untitled.
Yeah, Untitled Art.
Yeah, it was the one I sent you.
It was a collaboration. I'm not sure. I'm sure Untitled Art does their own. I've seen a ton of collaborations that they do.
It was a coconut cream pie,
right?
Blonde stout.
Yeah.
It's like
I had a blonde stout not too long ago. Lone Pint. It was delicious.
We should do a blonde stout for the podcast.
It's like amazing. It's a very intriguing.
Is it more
style.
blonde or more stout?
Yes. Yes. It's like a vanilla stout.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's the best way I can
say. It's like a black and blue almost. Like
kind of. It's lighter than a stout.
Vanilla brings out,
but it's
like
got
a really
ton of like just
like.
Ooh.
It's very good.
I do that like now.
Like I said, the last little bit. It's like this is what is this, a 500 ml? I would assume.
Yeah, I think so. 375.
So that's about this.
Yeah,
that's about a 12 ounce. I just want to point this out. It says best before 5/31/2037. Yeah, it's like I was like,
oh man, that's good.
It's got another. It has another 20 years of age on that. Almost.
I think some people drink it after that day.
I believe it, but anyway,
you can inherit it to your daughter.
I found that really funny. Anyway,
yeah,
these 16 ounce beers, like out of a can, out of a bottle, I find them really hard to really enjoy past 12 ounces. Like the first 12 ounces, really great. The last 4 ounces, like, okay. Not for me personally.
It's kind of like Cutter in that regard, you know.
Body spray.
12 ounces is fine,
Austin Beer Works body spray. They did a collaboration with Sun King out in California.
Yeah, even
their Brute IPA. It's like the first 10, 12 ounces, very, very drinkable for me. The last 4 ounces, I was like, I don't want to.
You know, I really enjoyed the Blue Owl Brute.
Good for you.
To just throw that out there.
Well, we had him at the beer festival.
You should bring it to the podcast next time.
Well, we're going to do an episode with them, aren't we?
Tease.
519.
Hopefully they still have the Brute. It was actually,
Well, they just released it. They released it a week ago.
The sourness of it took like all the hoppiness kind of out of the equation for me.
Okay.
So it was quite lovely.
Just tropical and sour.
Brute just made me think of it.
Okay.
I wanted to share that.
Yeah, I didn't like the body spray, any of it really. I drank it, but I'd rather not.
I said the 10 to 12 ounces. I was being generous. It was probably the first half of the can. I was like,
that's a tall boy too, right? It's a 16 ounce can. Yeah.
It's
I wouldn't want the whole can.
Wait, who makes it?
It's a collaboration between Austin Beer Works and Sun King.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're out in California, right?
I
think you said that.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the I Am Brute that we had from Southern Star.
Oh yes, so much better.
Still to this
body
day,
spray kind of tastes like body spray.
I've had
Axe body spray in your mouth.
I've had like 4 or 5 different Brute IPAs.
Yeah,
and I Am Brute is literally the best.
Yeah. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Same boat. Probably had like 3 or 4. It was the best.
It's a popular style right now. It was like last year's hazy IPA.
So hot right now.
So hot right now.
The hazy IPA is less popular. The Brewed IPA is what's really hot right now.
Yeah. People are still making hazy IPAs.
No, they definitely are.
Yeah. But yeah, the Brute was the thing. I don't know if it's tapered off.
It's a little bit, but yeah.
All right, Joel, final thoughts. Geuze in your mouth.
I'm going to sound contradictory here.
Yeah. How many
What's
times?
New?
What's the tally on how many times he said? I'm going to sound contradictory.
I got to go back.
Here.
I got to go back.
I wish I could remember what podcast it was, but there's a podcast we did, and I drank a lot.
Well,
3 beers. He drank 3 beers.
No, we drank afterwards too, or maybe it was an extended one. And went home. I had some Whataburger. I took a lift home. I was responsible. I took a lift home.
Gotta narrow it down.
And got some Whataburger on the way home. And then I threw up on my couch. This is what it tasted like. So it was French fries and the barbecue ketchup.
Wait, you had the lift go through Whataburger for you, or what?
Yeah, they could do that.
Oh,
yeah, they track it.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
Like
they charge you for it. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
Take me to Whataburger.
So
5 stars.
That's why it sucks at first. But I like my throw up, so I give it a 1.
Wow.
What?
Wow. I did
Well,
not.
that's
That is
okay.
not what I saw. I didn't see that coming.
Wait.
That's why I called it contradictory. I wouldn't have.
Yeah, that is not the part I thought would be contradictory.
I wouldn't have 3.
That's like the snapping Avengers Infinity War.
I wouldn't have.
Spoilers.
I-
Spoilers.
I wouldn't have 3.
Damn it, you're all still here.
I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
50% chance.
No. Oh.
So,
We're all sad now.
He's contracted for 2 more
no, I'm
weeks.
not saying because I know he's coming back. Like,
No,
that's
let's all
clearly
take-
obvious.
all take place before.
You should have just gone into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, into the Spider-Verse. So I'd give it 1.
Thank you,
Just-
true believers.
I don't think I would have 3 of them. I would have 3. That would be hard. But this is like a good dinner table kind of like,
No.
you have an appetizer,
Yeah, I
you
guess
have a
you
cheese
could pair
plate.
it. Yeah,
you just-
cheese really with a strong
You have your
cheese.
meal.
I
Yeah.
could see this
Yeah.
with like buffalo wings.
I get, yeah.
Ooh,
Any
yeah.
strong flavor, really.
We should start a midnight buffalo wing place.
I could pair that with buffalo wings and blue cheese.
I love blue cheese.
I could
Blue
pair
cheese all
that
day.
beer with
I
buffalo
think
wings.
I
just
think
the
you're
carrots and celery, please.
I think you're all on crack.
What are you people? On dope?
I want to get more of this. I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
I want a vertical flight of it.
It's not the worst beer I've ever had.
You want different years?
I agree. I agree.
I mean, the last,
Do
It's-
it. I'll
it's a
do it for the
different-
podcast, but nothing else.
the last
We
beer
can
is the worst
get a
beer.
locally made lambic.
Okay.
Yeah.
You two.
Nope.
Wood.
Nope.
Do you taste the oak age or not?
Talking to Ross and I?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I get a woodiness to it. Yeah.
Right.
I get a woodiness, but I couldn't specify that it was in any type of barrel. I just know that I get that musky kind of woody flavor to me.
Thank you. All right. Once again, Cutter, fuck you, you're wrong. All right. That's all I needed. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Let's wrap this up.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. We had a great time drinking Silly Gose from Community.
Delicious.
Also comparing it to Old Goose Boone from Boone.
Not delicious.
Your mileage may vary.
To each their own.
But yeah, a great time was had by most. This is
4/5.
I had a great time.
where's Tony?
That's what I mean. 4/5.
4/5
already.
Tony is at an event.
Event. Yes.
Events.
Yes.
Must be a major life event.
I think
He's already married. What else?
Fabian isn't. I don't know. Yeah. So thanks everybody for joining us. Check us out on iTunes, on Patreon, anywhere you get podcasts. Tell a friend. Tell an enemy. Drink local. Drink.
Patreon is where you get a podcast.
Yeah, they have podcasts there. I don't know.
Go to our Patreon.
Go to our Patreon.
Oh,
yeah.
Donate. Help. Tell us what beer to drink, or find us anywhere else.
Follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram.
Ooh, yeah, Instagram.
Find Cutter and tell him to fuck off.
Yeah.
No,
Find
no,
me.
No,
No,
Wow.
actually, sorry, you have to say fuck you, Cutter.
Yes, please.
Exactly.
Please tell this man, fuck you, Cutter.
Yes.
And leave reviews. It's pretty easy on iTunes. You just 5-star it. And
Yeah.
You don't have to comment. You just say, hey, 5 stars. And
5 stars. Fuck
Yeah.
you, Cutter.
5
There you
stars.
go.
Fuck you,
That's
Cutter.
easy.
yeah, there you go. 5 stars. Fuck you,
Oh,
Cutter.
that'd be awesome.
If you're already
How many
signed
reviews?
in, just
Yes, please.
yeah.
Give us or whatever. 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars.
Fuck you,
No,
Cutter.
don't do that.
Doesn't
Don't
matter.
Do that.
That doesn't matter. Fuck you, Cutter.
The stars are what matter.
We'll even
please.
accept a
To
short.
Clint, the fuck you, Cutter is what matters.
Yeah.
That's I just want as many fuck you cutters as that we can get
We'll
on
even,
our
we'll,
reviews.
we'll even
I guess.
accept the
Please.
shorthand FU cutter as well. We'll consider the same thing. If you're on your cell phone, you
No,
gotta
I think you have to really.
I think you need to put the
Yeah.
fuck you cutter on there.
I feel this. Yeah.
Is there a comment
Let's
there?
give us 5 stars. Say fuck you, Cutter. We'll appreciate it.
Yes, we will. We'll say who you are on the podcast. I don't know, or we won't if you like.
Or maybe we'll ship you something. We can ship some beer or not.
If you
ship
like.
beer.
Yeah.
No, hey,
It's not in Canada because that shit is expensive.
Is it based on weight? Or
It's based on
mileage?
Canada.
based on Canada.
Fucker. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Was this the podcast?
Well,
I think this is.
we this isn't Cutter's mom's podcast.
She might.
Fuck you.
All right. This has been Clint.
And this has been Ross.
This is Cutter.
Joel's there. And this is the podcast.
This is the podcast. 3 Beers In is a proud member of the Hopped Up Network. Thanks for sticking around. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, Google Play, TuneIn, and on the hoppedupnetwork.com. If you like what you heard, rate and review us on iTunes. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at 3 Beers In Podcast, and check out our website, 3beersinpodcast.com. 3 beersinpodcast.com. You can find information about us and the show along with the links to all of our episodes and our really cool merchandise. While you're on our site, you can tell us what you like, what you don't like. And if you don't like us, then why the hell are you still here? You should have turned us off long ago. But if you're just going to listen to us anyway, then you should probably subscribe too. And if you would like a transcript of our podcast, write down everything that we just said. I don't get a ton of wood.
If you are looking for more beer podcasts just like the one you're listening to right now, then head on over to hoppedupnetwork.com. We are a podcast network focused on our local craft beer communities. Here's a quick example of one of the many podcasts you will find.
Talking Point, a topic that invites discussion or argument.
Drinking Points, topics that invite discussion about local history over a cold beer.
Hey everyone, I'm Haley.
And I'm Troy. And we are Drinking Points, a history podcast brewed for your enjoyment.
Join us as we discuss history and brews from Buffalo, New York and beyond. Find us on the Hopped Up Network.